Okay, Shalom. We'll give our praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, the honest apostle / elders for GMS, and blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing work in truth and sincerity. This is more of an impromptu. I got this book today from my relative. They're in the truth, and they brought this book to me, and I found it very interesting, especially with the things that our apostles have taught us over the years dealing with the Hebrew. And the book I have right here, if I can get it to focus, is the Ancient Hebrew Lexicon by Benner. Okay, and that writing on there, of course, we don't deal with that, but at a point in time, a couple people did, so that's why there's nothing I wrote on there. So for you naysayers and shit like that, but let's get down to the nitty gritty. Right here it says purpose of the lexicon. All right, it says in order to demonstrate the need for an ancient Hebrew lexicon, let us examine the word halal. They got halal, but it's pronounced halal. It says how it is written and what it means. Okay, it says the written word, the Hebrew word halal, as it appears in the Hebrew dictionaries and in the Hebrew Bibles, is written with the modern Hebrew script. But where did the modern Hebrew script come from? Hebrew was originally written with a pictographic script, similar to what? Egyptian hieroglyphics. But when Israel was taken into captivity in Babylon, they adopted the Aramaic script of the region and used it to write Hebrew. The modern Hebrew script used today is in fact Aramaic in origin, not Hebrew. Okay. It says the word meaning, according to Hebrew dictionaries and lexicon, the word halal is translated as praise, of course. As they call halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which means all, call means all, halal means praise. Okay. It says the ancient Hebrew language is a concrete orientation language, meaning that the meaning of Hebrew words are rooted in something that can be sensed by the five senses. So basically what it's saying is that it's things that are tangible, and this is very, very a key point to bring this lesson out, such as tree, which can be seen, sweet, which can be tasted, and noise, which can be heard. Abstract concepts such as praise have no foundation in the concrete and are product of ancient Greek philosophy. So this is a concept of such as praise. Okay, so it's going to get into the word praise and it's going to break it down. And this is exactly what our apostles, specifically Apostle Tahar, was telling us all the time. Okay, it says if the word halal is written with the Aramaic script and the definition praise is from the Greek, where is the Hebrew in the word? The purpose of the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible is to restore the original Hebrew to the Hebrew language of the Bible. The word halal would have been written as you see here. Okay, what's that? As a concrete example. You got a man and two canes, but I don't want to jump the gun. Okay. So I can get that focus back. It says in early Hebrew script over 3,200 years ago, or as halal, which is just the Hebrew we normally deal with. Okay, this right here is the Hebrew we normally deal with, brothers and sisters. It sound like a bum ass nigga. This is normal Hebrew we deal with, but this is more of the ancient style of it. Okay, it says in the Middle Hebrew script, between 32 and 2,500 years ago, the original pictographic letters are of the parent root. These two letters, which is a man and a cane, is a man with his arms raised, looking at something spectacular, and a shepherd's staff that is used to move the flock. So that's the concrete aspect of it. Okay, it says toward a place. When these are combined, the idea of looking toward something is represented. The original meaning of this pictogram is the North Star, a bright light in the night sky that is looked toward to guide one on the journey. If if we are going to read the Bible correctly, it must be through the perspective of ancient Hebrew who wrote it. So when you read the Bible, it must be through the perspective of the people who wrote it. Okay, not with the modern day thinking. Okay, that's why it says in Sirach that Hebrew has more power than when you read it in the English. Okay, because it's when you read it in the ancient Hebrew and get the Hebrew definitions, it gives more clarity. Okay, not from a modern Aramaic or Greek perspective. The word halal in its original concrete meaning is a bright light that guides the journey. And we praise. And we praise Yah by looking, or Yahweh. Yah is short for Yahweh. And we praise Yah by looking at him to guide us in our journey through life. Okay? It says perspective of the lexicon. It says the first and foremost concept that a reader of the Bible text must learn is that the ancient Hebrews were products of an Eastern culture. Okay, while you as the reader are the products of a Western culture. These two cultures are as different as oil and vinegar. They do not mix very well, which is very true. Okay, it says what may seem rational in our Western minds would be considered irrational in an Easterner of an ancient Near East culture. So the Western is America, okay? And that's why the way of thinking over here is totally different from the scriptures, okay? So the same is true in the reverse. What may be rational in ancient Eastern would be completely irrational in our Western mind. The authors of the biblical text are written from within their culture to those of the same culture. So you're writing from one person to another of your same understanding. Okay, so if you write to just like words in Spanish, if it's translated into English, it don't have that same type of understanding. And if you translate Hebrew, it's very crude. You know what I'm saying? It's very straight to the point, and it's not as how English is. Okay, like it doesn't really break down like that. Like the Ten Commandments, La'ata Hamad, it just says not covet. Okay, instead it said thou shalt not covet. You see, it says the authors of the biblical text are writing from within their culture to those of the same culture. In order to fully understand the text, one needs to understand the culture and thought process of the Hebrew people. Okay, all existing Hebrew lexicons. I'm gonna go over to the next point because it's a lengthy read, and I don't want to drag through it too much. Okay, it says ancient Hebrew thought. Okay, let's see here. I really want to go to abstract and concrete. Okay, Greek thought views the world through the mind abstract, which is not physical evidence. Okay, ancient Hebrew views the world through the sense concrete thought. Okay, so this is basically saying that it's more tangible. Just like we're gonna get into the word, we're gonna go down here. It says, let us take one of the above abstract words to demonstrate the translation from the concrete Hebrew word to an abstract English word. Anger. Abstract word is actually the Hebrew word. I gotta get the translation. I know that's a lot or or it could be pa after that. It says which literally means nose. A concrete word, which one is very angry. He begins to breathe hard and the nostrils begin to flare. So basically, in Hebrew writings, they describe things from what they see, what they taste, and what they hear. So when you see somebody nose flare, then you know that's representation of anger. So they put a ox head with the nose. Okay, it says a Hebrew sees anger as a flaring of the nose or nostrils. If the translator literally translated the passage above slow to nose, the English reader would not understand, because it's different. It's just a different way of thinking. Okay, it's really not hard to understand. It's just plain. It's just crude. Okay. Now this is what I definitely wanted to get a portion. It says appearance and functional descriptions. Okay, I'm going to the highlighted part. No, I'm going to the second paragraph. It says a Greek description of common word pencil would be, it is yellow and about 8 inches long. A Hebrew description of the word of the pencil would be, it is to its function, such as I write words with it. Straight to the point. Not that the Hebrew description used the verb write, with the Greek description use adjectives yellow and long. See, it takes out all that, that filler basically, because of Hebrew's form of functioning descriptions, verbs are used much more frequently than adjectives. Okay. It says, to our Greek way of thinking, a deer and an oak are two very different objects, and we would never describe them the same way. The Hebrew word for both of these is a yal, because of the functional description of these two objects are identical to ancient Hebrew. Therefore, the same Hebrew word is used for both. Okay. So now we're gonna move on. See here. Now, as you see, this is for niggas like Nate and all these other naysayers toward the scriptures. It said the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible, Figure 1, ancient Semitic pictographic inscription on stone builder, 1500 BCE. You see the Hebrew words here and there. Okay. All right. You got ancient Hebrew inscription on potsherd, 900 BCE. You got Ammonite inscription on stone, 900 BCE. Clearly Hebrew or Paleo Hebrew, or as Ebonics, as Nate would say. Moabite inscription on stone, 900 BCE. Aramaic inscription on stone, incense altar. Okay, Aramaic inscription on stone, plaque, 20 CE. Modern Hebrew script from the Hebrew Bible. Okay, here we go. Hebrew writing from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Because niggas starting to say that Israelites didn't even exist. Okay, which is crazy in itself. It's some dumb shit. Niggas just be bucking up against the Most High. That's all that is. Pictographic Hebrew writing from the Dead Sea Scrolls, okay, which is clearly Hebrew, as you can see right there. That's I believe it's Labanaya. Brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Samaritan scripts. Okay, Greek writing on New Testament. Okay, and then you got a Greek inscription found on Bow, 800 BCE, and that's clearly Hebrew. Okay. So that shows that Israelites were in Greece, okay? And it's tons of information, man. It's tons of information, things like that. But I just want to get this last paragraph. I don't want to linger on with it too long. So these last couple paragraphs, actually, it says a reconstructed alphabet. Okay, it says the original pictograph for this letter is a picture of, this is exactly what our apostles been teaching us, and here's proof. Okay, I don't know if you brothers can see it too well, and I'm trying to keep it steady so it can focus. It says pictograph letters is a picture of an ox head, which is the first letter of the alphabet. It's A, or it goes to Allah, representing strength and power from the work performed by an animal. The pictograph also represents a chief or other leader who when two oxen are yoked together for pulling a wagon or a plow, one is the older and the more experienced. One who leads the other within the clan, tribe, or family. The chief or father is seen as the elder who is yoked to the to the others as a leader and teacher. Okay, says the modern name for this letter is, they got a left, but it's a lop. Okay, and it says and corresponds to the Greek name alpha and the Arabic alep. Okay, the various meanings of the root are oxen, yoke. Learn each of these meanings is related to the meaning of the pictograph. It looks like an ox. Okay, it says the root alap is an adopted root from the parent root Allah. Okay, meaning strength, power, and chief, and is probable original name in the pictograph. Okay, so it just shows you how it goes back, and then you go down here. The early Semitic pictograph was simplified to what you see here, the modern. I can't say modern, but the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew we use, because we don't use the pictograph too often. If we go to the Paleo, we namely use these right here. It says in the Middle Hebrew, okay, it says script and continue to evolve into, which is the modern day Greek in the late Hebrew script. Not Greek, but Aramaic. Okay, the modern Hebrew letter developed out of the late Semitic. The middle Semitic was adopted by the Greek to be a letter A and carried over into the Roman A. The Middle Semitic script became the number one we use today. So, and it just goes into all the alphabets, Ga, Da, Ha, and it just explains, as we said earlier, the Ha, and if you turn it, it's about the same thing, and it's very interesting and intriguing to how the apostles has been talking about this, and I came across this, man. So I just wanted to share it with you brothers, and I'm about to do some digging into it, more into it, just to show y'all brothers around. Do some more digging into it, and then just feed off of this, man. This is some beautiful information, man. Very beautiful. Head of an ox, tent floor plan, foot. Man, it's beautiful. Call Allah, Yabashim Ashai. Blessings unto you, brothers. Double honor to our apostles and elders, and salutations to you, brothers out there teaching and doing work in truth and sincerity. I hope this was edifying to you, brothers. Once again, let's say shalom. Yabashim Ashai Brakatham. Shalom.